Okay, so we are now going to do a video on the chest and abdominal muscles for the plastic models. First of which you have a paired muscle, which is pectoralis major and pectoralis minor. Major means bigger. It's also more superficial. So what you can see on the fleshy part of each chest here, pectoralis major. Now, if I could lift it up on this model, underneath it would be pectoralis minor. I can do that, however, on this model. So here we can see pectoralis major. And on this model, I can remove pectoralis major, and now we can see pectoralis minor, which is smaller and deep to the pectoralis major. Next muscle we're looking for is serratus anterior. Serrare in Latin means saw-like, so it has tooth-like saw, and it's on the anterior surface. So if you look kind of toward the anterolateral surface, this muscle right here, which has this saw-like blade to it, this is called the serratus anterior. We can also see it on this guy right here. Again, serratus anterior. So again, superficial, anterolateral, serrare looks like the edges of a serrated knife. Then you're going to have another pair of muscles, which are the external and internal intercostal muscles. So external intercostal muscles we see from the outside. These are the muscles that go straight up and down between the ribs, external intercostals. You can see them on this model as well, between the ribs. If I take off the chest plate and I turn this around, now the muscles on the inside that go between the ribs are my internal intercostals. Same thing on my other model here. If I take off the chest plate, if I can get it to cooperate, again, we would flip this around and there's our internal intercostals. Okay, so external on the outside, internal on the inside. Inter means between, costal means rib. Then you're gonna have another set of paired muscles, the internal and external oblique muscles. And they're a little different depending on which torso model you're looking at. So we're gonna start with this guy right here. These are going to be my external here, external oblique. Oblique means runs at an 45-degree angle, so external oblique. And the other side, we've taken this outer layer off, and now you can see the layer below it, which is running at a 45-degree angle in the opposite direction. So these are my internal obliques on this side, smaller on more superficial on the opposite side, external oblique. Internal obliques are deep to the external obliques. So again, on this model, here they do it a little bit differently. You can see the external obliques, just a little snippet of it right here. And then the internal obliques running at the opposite direction. So external, then we took that little cut, and below it we see these internal obliques. Then you have what's called the transversus abdominis muscle and rectus abdominis muscle. Rectus in Latin means straight up and down. So the fibers of this muscle run straight up and down the abdomen. Again, this is rectus abdominis, and you can kind of see it under the fascia on this side. If we turn this model around, you see this muscle that's deep underneath the rectus abdominis that comes straight across the abdomen. That's my transversus abdominis. Now, again, on this model, it's going to be slightly different. Here's my rectus abdominis coming down on either side, and now we can see transversus abdominis coming across on this model. So on one model, you have to turn the chest plate over to see transversus abdominis. On this model, straight up and down, rectus abdominis, across transversus abdominis. Last muscle in the chest abdominal region that you're responsible for is the diaphragm muscle. The diaphragm muscle is a thin, bell-shaped muscle. It's suctioned to the bottom of each of your lungs. It is the main muscle of respiration or breathing. So if we take this lung off, the muscle that we can see attached to the bottom of it, and if I take the liver out here, you can see that muscle goes all the way across and it separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. That's my diaphragm muscle. Again, just to show you on the other torso model for comparison, again, you'd want to look on the bottom of the lung, and there's your diaphragm muscle.